Hello, everybody. This is Sunday evening. It's about 6 o'clock. I waited till it cooled off because I was going to go outside and do a little garden update. Also, I wanted to show you what I just did here. I still do use the wood burner. I let it cool off. And you can see I put holes in the bottom of this plastic container. And this is just a Folgers coffee container, but it's a pretty good size one. This one holds 30 and a half ounces, which is basically 1 pound of coffee. That makes a great little bin to put food scraps like cucumber peelings, potato peelings, that type of thing in your garden, in your totes and your buckets, or your raised bed. It's going to be perfect because when I pull my celery out of my raised bed where my strawberries are, I'm going to put this in the very center of it, and I'll fill it full of like squash leaves, tomato leaves, all the leaves I break off the plants in the garden, and they'll break down into compost and feed my plants out there. So it's really good to get one of these little wood burners, or soldering irons is what they are. They get hot really fast, so you don't have to wait a long time for them to get hot. And they make the holes really quick. You know, just make you a few holes. You don't have to make too many. I got 4 in the bottom, and then I got them all around a couple of inches apart. And you've seen the other ones that I've put in the garden. I'm going to shorten the legs on this tripod so I don't get it hung up everywhere on everything I walk by. And we're going to go outside since it's cooled off a little bit, and we'll do us a garden update. That sun is still out, so it's pretty warm still. But it's not as warm as it has been today. But you can see my wandering Jew that was sent to me by one of my subscribers. Look how much those 3 pieces have grown. So you know they've rooted. And all I did was stick them in this pot and keep them watered. Basically like I did my cactus. I've got a thornless cactus that I've been rooting. It's already rooted. And look at this. Look at that. All it was to begin with was this piece right here. This growth was not on there. That's a new part that's grown on it since I've had it. So it is rooted. So, you know, from now on I will have me a thornless cactus. Ain't that right lucky? Yeah. And there's a little buddy up there. They heard me talking out here, so they got to come running. He feels better since he was brushed yesterday. Don't you, Lucky, huh? You feel better since you were brushed, huh? Yeah, he feels better since he was brushed. And I know little buddy does. Yeah, little buddy feels better. Yeah, he does. Oh, there goes that thing starting to run again. But there's my tomatoes. You know, those were some of the tomatoes that came up from the seeds of the sliced Roma tomato that I put in there. And they're getting blooms, so it's going to have some Roma tomatoes on there. And there's all my peppers. Part of them that I put here. And my eggplant. Those little eggplants are growing. But look at all of my rose bushes and my blanket flowers, my sunflowers. Look at there, they're really big. But I've got my mums way out there with that big sunflower. And then we got the other ones here. We'll walk out there. But here's my little wishing well, and I keep forgetting to harvest my greens there. Maybe the next recipe I do, I'll harvest my green. But see all these leaves down here that have turned yellow or turning yellow? You can cut all those off and put them in a container like the little coffee container that I just showed you that I put holes in it, and put it down in your raised beds or your big pots, and all the leaves and everything will break down in that little container, and it goes out those little holes into your soil in your raised bed, and it actually feeds your plants. It's fertilizer, plant food. I got moonflowers coming up back there, marigolds. But yeah, the sun is getting hot on them. I waited till the sun, it kind of got shaded in this area. But that little rose bush is really living good in there. I've got zinnias, sunflowers, all kind of flowers coming up with the rose bush. And I still have to plant something in the middle of this. I might break a piece of the mum off of one of these other pots and put another piece of mum in there, and see if I can get another mum to live in there. But there's the sunflowers that were planted in the ground. And here's my biggest rose bush that was here on the property line. And I got volunteer 4 o'clocks coming up. You know, I planted 4 o'clocks in there last year, and these were from seed that dropped, so it came up again this year. I haven't seen the flowers open yet, though. I guess they close up before I get out here. But I'll have plenty of seed from that. And there's my... Ooh! I got ants crawling on my feet. Can't have that. I don't want them biting my feet everywhere. And I've put poison out all over my yard everywhere for ants since it rained. But you can't get rid of all of them. It's impossible. But here's my rock garden out here. It's kind of wilted down a little bit because it's in the hot sun. I haven't been able to water it. And there's my mums. I might be able to take a piece of that mum out and put it in that other pot back there where that other mum didn't make it. And there's the sunflowers here that's in the ground. They live better in the ground. They put down better roots. They go deeper, so the wind is less likely to blow them over. See, the wind blows this one over crossways, so. But the mum is living good in there. I might be able to take a piece of that one and put it over on that other. But there is my crepe myrtle. I planted these crepe myrtles so many years ago, and it's taken all these years for them just to get as big as they are. And you know, I got 2 out there in the front. They're just before blooming. That big one there is a crepe myrtle, and the one, let's see, that one there's a crepe myrtle, and it's just getting ready to put out flowers. And there's my pumpkin pies. Pie pumpkin, or whatever you call them. I've got 2. That's the only ones I saw come on my vine. I got one there, and I got one over there. But I'm not sure they're ready to pick yet. I think you're supposed to wait till the vine dies off a little bit, I think. So I thought I'd leave it out a little while longer. Oh no, something is eating it. Look at the bottom. I won't be harvesting that one. Something's already in it. Let me check this one. Oh, they're in that too. Look at that. Some kind of bugs got in there. So I guess I'm not going to be... I don't know how many's in there. But I guess I'll not be using these pumpkins. I left them out here too long. I didn't know when to come get them. And I don't have anything to cut this off of the... Well, there it goes. Yeah, see, there's 2 holes in it, so it got bugs in there. Look at there. They're still in there. Ah. Yeah, I'll not be eating those. Wouldn't want to take a chance on them, so. Look at that. Yeah, I should have come check them before now. I should have cut them off the vine before now, but the bugs has got to them now, so I'm not messing with them. I'll just have to buy a little pumpkin if I make a pumpkin pie. Ain't that right, little Lucky? Huh? And there's little Buddy. But yeah, what I was talking about, that coffee container. See how I got this container down in here? You can just take the top off and put your compost leaves and whatever down in there. Anything that doesn't attract ants now. You don't want to put anything in there that will attract ants. But that'll help feed your plants. And I see a pretty strawberry over here. If the bugs hasn't got to that. Well, I thought it was a pretty one, but it's not very big. Look at there. But it's a strawberry, y'all. There's 2 there, but they're not ripe. Little one there, but it's kind of misshaped. And here's this vine. I don't know what this thing is. I don't know if it's going to have anything on it or not. None of them have put out anything yet. So I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't. And my popcorn, look. It's got a little ear started, but I don't know if it'll do anything. I got me some more little squash coming on my vines. Little Buddy, what do you think, huh? And this bean, this pea vine, I don't know. I put this hole up here going crossways for it to go on, but it's going all over itself and not going around this thing. So I don't know what I'll do with it. But it is peas, because look at this. I don't remember what kind of peas it is. Beans. I don't know if they're edible or not, because they get kind of hard unless you pick them real small. I don't know what kind they are. They come up voluntarily. Yeah, you got to get them real small or they're tough. And here's my turnips since I trimmed them all up and cooked a mess of them. But I'm thinking I'm not keeping enough water out here on this. Or I should have turnips down in there. And I've got 1 or 2, but they're tiny ones. Or should come up and put the rest of their fence up. Down there and not back here on my property. See, there's how they do. They put rocks over on the other person's lot. That's not their lot. They want to get rid of them, so they pushed them over there, and they pushed that one over here. But I don't own this lot back here, so I can't say anything. These strawberries get more shade than the other ones do. But see, I need to get the rest of the celery up. And see, I got one of the containers in here that I put leaves and stuff in. And it breaks down and it feeds the plants. But I took 2 big ones to my son when I went over there. 2 big celery stalks. And see, the lavender never did come up in here. I've never seen any lavender. I don't know what the problem is. Blanket flowers are doing good. My tomatoes and stuff back here are doing good, but they get evening shade. That's one reason I put these totes here. Is because they do get shade in the evening, this time of day, which helps tremendously on these hot, scalding hot days here in Texas. And see, even these are dried out. I need to get more water here. My bins are empty. And look at these tomatoes. Full of blooms. They're getting a bunch of little green tomatoes. They're getting some ripe tomatoes. Looky here. Little cherry tomatoes. And here's one here that's ripe already. Because they're the golden tomatoes, I think. And see, I just watered these the other day, and look how the leaves are just swiveled up. Bugs on my tomatoes. There's a ripe tomato. Aroma. I got this net bouncing on my head up here. My walking onions, my tomatoes, and I still got this big red onion to pull. I took the other big red one to my son. And I still got walking onion sprouts, the little bulbs, if anybody needs them. If they'd let me know, I can send them to you. All those aroma tomatoes, and I meant to come out here and stake that up. I need to come out here and pick these little tomatoes because they're ripe. And I didn't bring anything with me to get them. I got peppers. Yeah, I'm going to have to go in the house and look at all those little ripe cherry tomatoes. Grape tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, Roma tomatoes. Yeah, all this stuff needs to be watered. Got an eggplant right there in the middle of my onions, my other walking onions. Look at there. There's the Casper white eggplant. Not quite big enough. I'll leave it on there a little bit longer. Roma tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes. Grape tomatoes. I mean, this little bush is just loaded with them. Either green or ripe ones, and I do need to come out here and pick them. My carrots, I haven't pulled any more carrots yet. Some of my carrots have gone into seed. Look at there. I was looking to see if there was a carrot up under there, but there's not. Not on that big stalk. It's just gone to seed. But there's my stir-fry veggies, what survived. I had to cover them up because the bugs were eating them all up. My cilantro is gone. It's just too hot out here for that. My kohlrabi, I never did get to transplant it, so it's not doing real good. I need to transplant it somewhere else. My coleus needs water. My lettuce is going to seed. Look at that. My 2 fur babies following me around. Yeah, I got tomatoes here. Yeah, I still got a bunch of tomatoes out here I need to pick. Most of them are the little grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes, but they're good. I've got a bunch of the other ones still, but they're look at there. Look in there. I need to pick them. And I can't hold them in my hand right now, so I'll have to come back out here later. And see, I still got green ones here. I got another one of the volunteer Hungarian hot peppers. It's full of peppers. Yeah, this is Sunday, so tomorrow is usually the day I do get out and water. But they really desperately need water right now. Roma tomatoes there, they're not ripe. Got all kind of little ripe tomatoes in there that I gotta pick. But everything's wilting down from this hot heat we've had. And look at this pot of wandering Jew, y'all. Isn't that pretty? Look how much it's grown. It's all rooted. And it's starting to grow like crazy. And it's beautiful out here in this sun because it makes it a deep purple. If you have it in the shade, it gets more green color. But if you have it in the sun, it turns purple. And there's my collards. My poor pitiful okra that have not done anything this year. I got more peppers. And I don't know if those are the hot peppers or the banana peppers right there, because you can't tell them apart by looking at them. You just have to actually bite into one. I got more Roma tomatoes. I got one that's ripe, but it's got, looks like blossom end rot on it. Let's see if I can get it. My fingers aren't long enough. Yeah, that's the first one I've seen that had blossom end rot on it. And that poor tomato plant there is just growing all down behind there, and I can't even get to it to stake it up. I said, well, it'll just have to hang there. I'll get back there somehow to get the tomatoes off of it. But see, I got big ones, tomatoes in there. I've got grape tomatoes. I got cherry tomatoes. They just need more water. My onions, I still haven't pulled all the onions yet. But I've been using them. You know, the ones I've already got pulled, I've been using them. So I'll come out here and pull more of these later. And there's tomatoes there. Some of them are ripe, some of them aren't. I think these are the orange, the golden jubilees. Look at this. They're inching along the garden with me. And there's tomatoes in there. A couple of them are almost ready to be picked. I dropped one in the ground because it had a big split in it. Look at there. 2 more hanging there. And I got a bunch of the cherry tomatoes here. Look at that. But they need water desperately. My peppers are growing since I transplanted them. They've been kind of struggling in the heat, but they're still growing. So they'll end up producing peppers for me. And all of the caladiums did not come up in these little pots, but I got a volunteer tomato plant. Look at that. I didn't even plant a tomato there, and I got one. And here's more tomatoes. I got a squash right down there. I got to get water to these because they're drying up. Got to get it to the corn. Yeah, that's the biggest problem here in Texas, is especially with our water restrictions right now, you can't keep your garden watered. Get that up there. Oh, I'm dropping my tomatoes, y'all. Oh my goodness. I should have known better than to try to pick them. I can't pick anymore, but look, I've got more to pick. I've got a bunch under there. They're pretty little tomatoes. See, even my marigolds are wilted down. I got to get out here and get water to them. And see, there's another one of those vines, the mystery vine. It's growing across the trellis, but it's not produced anything. So I don't know. Have no idea what it is. And at this point, I forgot even about caring about it. And one of my tins are down off of my trellis up here. But at this point, I don't really care. I mean, we do have, looks like some kind of berries forming on this thing, but from what that website said, it was the poisonous berries, so I don't think I want them anyway. I've still got me a big bell pepper in there that I haven't picked. It should be turning red pretty soon. I think it's starting to turn, because I think that was a red one or an orange one. My okra's growing back here in these blocks, but they're in partial shade. My cabbages are still looking good. And I pulled those out of the raised bed, those two marigolds, and I haven't gotten around to transplanting them anywhere else, so I guess they're going to die on me. Got a tomato there. I had to move it over here in the partial shade because the plant was burning up in the sun. My basil, 2 plants of basil over there. Of course, my walking onions, my peppermint, my eggplant. See, this needs water. I got another cucumber in there. It's already turning yellow because of the heat. It just gets too hot on these plants in this Texas hot sun. Look at all these tomatoes in here. I have got a ton of little tomatoes. And on this bush, look at them. These are grape tomatoes here. And I got another patty pan right there I need to pretty soon pick. I don't want it to get too big. Oh, I wanted to show you my peppers we transplanted out here. They're living pretty good. So I think they're going to do well in these bags, a lot better than the potatoes did. But they do need more water. And I've got a Black Beauty, where is it? I'm trying to show it to you. Black Beauty eggplant. It's not big enough to pick. There's one over there. And there's one over here on this one. On this corner. Right there. So I'm going to have a few eggplant, not many. And look at the tomatoes in there. Those are celebrity tomatoes. Once they start turning ripe, it don't take them long to redden up. Those are celebrities there. And these are more of the grape and cherry tomatoes. They're not turning ripe yet, on this side anyway. Oh, look at that one. Look at that eggplant. That's almost big enough to do something with. Yeah, I didn't even see that big one right there. That's a pretty one. It's just not quite big enough to pick. And I got more in here started. Look at this one. I got one started here. It's just not big enough. Aren't those pretty? And see, there's another one of those vines. I just don't know what it is. It hasn't got anything on it. And I'm almost tempted just to pull them up and put something else there. But look at this. It's full of little green tomatoes on this grape tomato vine. Full of them over here too. They just haven't turned ripe yet. There's a bunch of them right in there. But I got my hands full. I can't pick any more tomatoes. But I've got Roma tomatoes in these pots, and see how they're struggling? They do need more water. They've got to be watered pretty soon. Eggplant here. I'm just trying to see what type of eggplant this is. Midnight moon eggplant. More tomatoes. My tomatoes back here just aren't doing a whole lot. That's full of little tomatoes there. I don't think they get enough sun back here or something. These are eggplants in my bucket planter. All of the lower buckets are eggplants. That looks like a squash. Yeah, it is. It's a yellow squash. Probably need to pick it. And here is more tomatoes. I don't see much on this plant yet, but this one here is full of little golden jubilee tomatoes, and they're ripe. When they turn gold color like that, they're ripe. And I got this tomato plant here. It's got tomatoes on it. Let's see if I can go over here. Yeah, it's got a couple of tomatoes right in there. And I think some of them are big tomatoes, and maybe one or two of these are grape tomatoes. Because some of them were volunteers, and I think I planted one in there. Yeah, that's a grape tomato up there. Little grape tomatoes. But that's a bigger one there. And I don't know what kind it was. I don't know. Have no idea. But these are the eggplants as well. The plants are looking real good. And there's my hosta, my 2 hosta plants. I'm afraid to take the little sticks out of there because Lucky will get up there and lay on my hosta and kill it. And there's more eggplants, which they're looking real good. They should produce me some pretty eggplants in the near future. Whew, it's hot. And I've got very few of my caladiums that come up in that pot. They did finally come up in this pot. And I think I've got 1 or 2. Look at this. You beat me to the door, Lucky. And you did too, little buddy. He's up on the banister waiting for me. And I do have one that came up in there. Look at there. That's one of the leaves. And I put 5 or 6 caladium bulbs in here. And that's the only one I've seen so far. And I got to keep sticks in there because Lucky will get up there and lay down and he'll smother the plant until the plant gets so big he can't lay down in there. What? Huh? What? Is it your dinner time? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Huh? Is it your dinner time? Is it? I think that's what he's trying to tell me because their dinner bowls are empty. Yeah, their dinner bowls are empty. They're patiently waiting for their meal, for their evening meal. Pretty kitty. He's a pretty kitty. He is. He's a pretty kitty. And Lucky is too. You gonna rub on me? You gonna rub on my legs, huh? He's silly. Are you silly, little buddy? Are you silly like Lucky? Lucky's silly. Yeah, Lucky's silly. Oh, and I do have sweet potato slips growing. Now, don't you knock my jar over, little buddy. But see, I do have potato slips. I don't know where I'm going to plant them yet, but I'll find a spot to stick them and see if we can grow a few sweet potatoes through this heat. I don't know. You reckon we will, little buddy? You think we'll be able to grow sweet potatoes in this heat? Huh? Do you think so? I got my hands full. I got a handful of tomatoes here. I got the tripod with the camera in the other hand, and I can't do anything with the camera right now. I can't even turn my camera off. Let's see. See if I can get my door open. Watch out. Y'all need to get out of the way. I can't get in the door. I can't get in the door. Let me get in the door and I'll get your food and come back out here and get your bowls and I'll feed you. Okay? Back up. No. I got to put these tomatoes up or get them out of my hand. And then, oh gosh, that went rolling down in the sink. I tried to get all my mess cleaned up from my video today. But anyway, look at me, I'm sweating. But anyway, I need to go run to the store, so I'm going to end my video. I'm going to go ahead and get Little Buddy and Lucky some dinner. Take it out there and put it in their bowls, and they'll be happy. And then I can cool off and run to the store. I just have a couple of things I need to pick up. So please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. I count on all my views on all my videos, y'all. If you want to see more and more cooking videos, you got to watch all my videos. I got to get the views because that's how I make my money. If you don't watch my videos, then I don't make anything. And I won't be able to even do the cooking videos. So, you know, unfortunately, that's the way it is. You got to watch them all. So anyway, please like, share, subscribe to my videos. I'll see you on the next one. Love y'all. Bye now.